So today I would like to share with you just 5 simple steps to get yourself out of a psychological rut. When you're feeling defeated or tired or you're just simply overwhelmed with, life's challenges. And no doubt, this is an issue that all of us face, whether it's in fitness or it's our professional career, personal life. So as an example, I'm going to read you a message from one of my clients in California because I feel like all of us have been in the situation that she describes. And her message to me, I think that it serves as a great example for how many of us often feel. So once I read her message, I'm going to share the 5 steps that I sent her in response. And she's pretty amazing. She's a great woman, and she just took this little bit of support, and she's been able to keep on her program. And she's enjoying the benefits of several fitness milestone achievements now, and that's really exciting for her. So here's what she wrote to me. She says, "Hey Michael, I know I've missed my workout so far this week. With my husband being down with the flu, I'm pulling double duty at home while still trying to recover myself. And of course, the last 2 days have been completely overwhelming at work, and I'm really struggling just to find a few minutes to eat my meals and get my workouts in. I promise I'm trying. Tomorrow is a new day and another shot at getting it right. I had a little breakdown today and had a soda. As I was wondering what the heck I was drinking it for, I think I realized that when I get so overwhelmed and stressed, I feel like I'm out of control. Ironically, I grab something unhealthy because I want to have something fulfilling, and want for myself seems to like some kind of an achievement, which gives me a feeling of control. It's ironic because it's completely the opposite. If I were actually in control, I would just grab a glass of water, since that fits with my goals. It's been a rough couple of days. Any advice for getting back on the horse when you're feeling overwhelmed and a little defeated?" So I read that, and I really appreciated the fact that she shared that with me, and she gave me permission to share it with you. But the feelings that she describes, they're so common. And even I struggle getting back on a program and if I fall off for a couple of days. So, and I'd also tell you this, that, 9 out of 10 people have the same issue with food, and we're always trying to find a quick source of fulfillment. The one thing that I can say with certainty is this, that I've, observed throughout nearly 20 years working as a fitness professional. Overcoming these feelings does not require a high level or complex neuropsycho pattern solution. With modern fitness programming, it really comes down to the simplicity of execution. The more direct and clearly defined a process is for people with a busy schedule, the easier it's going to be for them to adopt into a daily function. And I like to avoid overcomplicating processes because then they become prohibitive. That means that people will be less likely to sustain a best practice that can improve or enhance their fitness level if we remove a practical application. So here are some simple steps to walk yourself through when you feel defeated, tired, or even tempted. And the first thing I always say is stop. Stop and acknowledge how you're feeling. That way you can be more objective about what's happening. Not just in your life, but the conditions that may influence your feelings. By pausing for just a moment and summing up your situation, you'll be a lot more mindful, and you gain a better perspective for decision making. And then number 2 is you make a really quick attainable goal, for the moment, right? Or for that same day. And then you go and you accomplish it. Something simple, like a plank for just like 60 seconds, maybe bust out 10 push-ups. These are all good micro goals because they take less than a minute, and the act of doing a quick exercise, it can change your state. Not to mention, you can find 60 seconds somewhere in your schedule to create a small success. But it's important to remember that in fitness, success is cumulative. This means even what would be defined as a maybe moderate or small success, it absolutely compounds and adds to your collective accomplishment. You keep that in mind. And the other thing you need to do, number 3, is remind yourself that this is really a journey. And not all paths are smooth and easygoing, and it's okay, to have bumps along the way. And that makes each milestone a super success, and it gives it real meaning. For example, don't focus on the 50, 60, 70, or 80 pounds that you want to shed. More focus on the 2, 5, or 8 pounds. Take it one step at a time, and suddenly the rough patches of the journey are not so hard because they're actually what make it worthwhile in the end. That's why it's an accomplishment when you get to the top. Keep in mind that mountains are climbed one step at a time. Okay. For if you know what a workout, that a workout's going to be missed and it's not avoidable, you can't make it. Be careful not to get frustrated or down on yourself. Have to do that. Instead, resolve to make up the workout as soon as you can. And keep a positive mindset by reminding your psyche of that big picture and reflect on how great you've been doing. Recount, how much stronger you are in a plank, or how maybe that HIIT program that you're on is not as challenging as it was in the beginning, because that means you're getting better. And then 5 is remember the one thing that you control is how you react to your situation. And it's hard, that's hard. It takes practice to master your responses or feelings. But project to the next day. In the morning, will you feel better or worse if you make the wrong food choice or decide to skip a workout? I'll tell you that for most people, it's not the act of having a soda or skipping a workout that starts that cycle of failure. It's more the next day when that regret kicks in, or they feel like all the previous work was for nothing. Some people even say at this point, it's just too hard, to change, so they'll just miserably stay in their comfort zone. But it's a trap. It's not a comfort zone. So fight it and get free. And you start that next day with even more determination, and it will always pay off. Just stay the course.